What's good, YouTube, man? Welcome to the channel, bruh. So I'm gonna do another breakdown on the Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford matchup, and this video gonna be more pro Spence. I'm gonna go ahead and get that out the way right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, but because I did more research and I did more studying on Errol Spence, and I noticed some things that people have been saying about him being, off balance when he throw his jab or when he throw his combinations. But I want to point out a couple of things in this fight that I didn't really notice before, you know. And the name of the channel that I watched was one of them was Boxing Gyms. I'm pretty sure you know who that is. He do like the breakdowns. He do good breakdowns. You know what I'm saying? He does good breakdowns. And one thing I like about him is he able to bring up things that people really don't notice, which led me to notice things that I really didn't pay attention to at first. In this video, I'm gonna break down, and I'm gonna like really point out, not really break it down, but I'm gonna just point out a couple things. How Spence effectively uses his jab. So my original breakdown was kind of on point, you know. So how he breaks down fighters and sets up stuff with his jab and also defends himself with his jab. That's going to be the first thing. Now, other areas that he does well is, controlling distance as well. But he does that using a jab. But he doesn't just control the distance using a jab. He also uses feints, which I'm going to show. He also uses, certain little subtle movements. And really, to close the distance, he really does everything all together, like feints, jazz. He does it all collectively. He doesn't just do it do one thing over and over again. He sets things up into one thing. So in this video, I'm gonna break all this stuff down, man. And there's a couple other things that he does that I think is gonna really help him in his fight with Terence Crawford. So this is how Spence deals with a moving southpaw. So we notice how he's able to cut the ring off, but notice how the little feints and stuff from not only Van Heerden, but look at Spence as well. He's setting up that distance and he's setting up that range with feints. Now, what he's doing is cutting the ring off, but he's also taking a couple steps back when Van Heerden tries, gets a little comfortable or to prevent him from getting comfortable. That's what he's really doing. So already he's setting up the distance already. He haven't even really thrown a punch yet, but he's setting up that distance. Take a look at that. So a lot of people don't think that Spence has IQ, but if you pay close attention to that first clip, those first two clips, and of that first round against the mover, it shows you that he has IQ. He doesn't just rush in there, He don't just rush in there and just start throwing a lot of punches. Like they say, oh, his punch volume is gonna be too much. It's like, no. He takes his time, he patient with it. He trying to gauge that distance first. So he's controlling the distance on his own. He's understanding how far, he trying to get that, sense of how far he has to be to hit you and how far he has to be to get hit by you. So that's another thing that he does really well. And it really goes overlooked. So people was going on about how Ugas didn't move, but it's not about Ugas not moving. It's about what Spence is doing. So a mover is just as less successful as a person who doesn't move. Because Spence, what he does is he's setting you up to fight his fight. He's not setting you up to fight your fight. All right, so boom. Look at the distance now. You see what I mean? So this is what he does. he doesn't just come in, bro. Pause. He doesn't just come in recklessly and without a game plan or anything like that. You see the jab in his face? And this is why I made my original breakdown video. And I was right. You know, everything can be set up with your jab. So this is what the jab is doing right here, right? Now, let me walk you through this. So he's got the jab in his face. Number one, it's blinded him. When I first started boxing, they told me to throw the jab in their eyes so they won't see the other punch coming. Boom. So he got the jab on him, right? But most importantly, what this jab is doing is letting Spence know that he can touch him. Now, this is the philosophy that fighters who understand distance go by, especially Shakur Stevenson. That's why when Stevenson kept getting warned for holding his head on Valdez, because Stevenson understand that if he can touch you, he can hit you. And he know how to control that distance, you know, off the jab. And that's what he's doing right here. He knows that he can touch him. So he comes in with that 1-2 that people keep saying he's off balance. But he's not really, he's off balance, but he's in a position where he can land a shot. You understand? So he giving up a little bit of balance for, you know, a good shot to land. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the off balance shot, you know, like Julius Ndongo was. And I'm going to break that down too. He's got good balance because he knows he touching his opponent. He know where his opponent at. You know what I'm saying? He know where his opponent is at. And he basically pinpointing that shot, you know, but he's going a little bit off balance, you know. But that's what he's doing. He's finding the range. He know he can touch you because he's jabbing you. Like that. Okay, so now look at it. He already set up the distance with the jab. So he committed on his punches now. So he throws the 1-2. He knows he's off balance. So he's in a position where he's smothering his shot. So Van Heerden really can't get nothing off. And then he regathers and throws a hook. Now notice how he sets up that same punch because he see, okay, boom. Let's see if he gonna take this again. So he see that opening. He throws it. 1-2. Again, off balance. Then he anticipates the hook. He know what punch is coming next. He knows what he's doing. He knows what punch is coming next. So he anticipates it and goes back. But notice after that first combination, that first 1-2, he took 2 steps back. That's him understanding the distance. That's him understanding range. That's him understanding, you know, if I take a couple steps back, I'm out of punch range. That's what he's doing right. That's intelligent. That's IQ, you know. A lot of people think he don't have IQ, but he definitely has IQ. All right, so look. Moving target, just like y'all said Crawford would be, not like Ugas. Crawford gonna move, right? So Crawford can still move, and it probably won't be effective. Now look, he throws the jabs, he moves out the way, but all he does is stay right on the jab. He don't do nothing else. He stay right on the jab, stay right in front of his opponent, keep the jab going, set up them combinations. See that? So that's what's the problem that he's going to present to Crawford. Stay right on the jab. You know, like I said in my first breakdown video, everything off the jab he going to be able to set up, you know. So moving can only do so much for you. Eventually, you're going to have to do something, you know what I'm saying, besides moving. So the jab is going to be prevalent in setting everything up. Spence don't never, you know, run crazy after opponents, you know. You just stick right on your game plan. If that boy want to move, let him move. Go ahead and move. I'm going to keep the jab right in front of your face. Yep. Come on.
Many more gaps in Van Heerden's game. Yeah, nice. Solid.